Hey downtown van.
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 You're listening to Hey Downtown Van, hosted by the Downtown Vancouver BIA.
Hey downtown van. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Sofia Laratta, and today I'm joined by Downtown Van President and CEO Jane Talbot, as well as our special guest, Gabriel Dalton. Gabriel is a Vancouver-based sustainable web developer and president of Oasis of Change, Inc., a nonprofit focused on digital sustainability. A lifelong coder and climate advocate, his work in energy-efficient technology has earned recognition from the City of Vancouver and collaborations with organizations like Microsoft and IKEA. Yes, you might be thinking this is a 35-year-old man. He is in fact 17, and it was a very, very great conversation. So we hope you enjoy, and we hope you learned something today. Gabriel, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So you have a very interesting story. You were born on a boat and lived there for 6 years. How has that experience shaped your worldview and the work that you do today?
Yeah, it's definitely a very unique experience. I don't think many people can say that they were born on a boat and lived there for many years growing up. That experience taught me a lot of things, and one of them is that the necessities aren't always there. Like, we didn't have hot water, so I had to go 6 years. I was on and off because my parents are divorced, so my dad was on the boat, so I was on and off for 6 years. And the times that I was with my dad, I didn't have any hot water. My parents forced me to learn how to swim, even though I hated it, because you have to walk off the dock every day and go up to school. But yeah, it taught me that, you can't always get what you want, and sometimes you have to do what it takes to survive in that place.
Yeah. So were you actually born on the boat?
Yeah, midwives and everything.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, home birth.
Is your dad still on a boat, living on a boat?
Not anymore. We sold it and we moved to land. But it was definitely a fun experience. It was called the Frangipani. You go on Google Earth, you can still see it.
Really?
Yeah.
I have so many questions. I'll be very brief though. A, was it fun?
Yes.
B, was it here in Vancouver?
Yeah, it was just at Cole Harbor.
All right. So you had the urban experience while living on a boat.
Yeah, born in Stanley Park.
All right. And do you think you'll ever live on a boat again?
Well, born on a boat, die on a boat, maybe. We'll see. But I would say yes.
Yeah?
It's definitely a fun experience. I have my boat license from Transport Canada, so I can drive. I know how to drive. I'm certified to drive boats. So I think
Okay.
my friend Sean, he has a big interest in boats. So I think I would maybe join him on his boating experiences.
Was it a sailboat?
It was a houseboat.
A
So it was stationary. It
houseboat.
wasn't, going out in
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
international waters or anything, but
I was
was-
envisioning a sailboat for some
Yeah.
reason. I was like, wow, that's cool.
whenever I tell people about that, they're always like, "Were you born on the water?" But no, it was docked. It was moored. But it's still a cool experience.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
very
for
much so.
sure. Now, I read that you taught yourself to code when you were 10 years old.
Yes.
What first sparked your interest in coding or technology in general? And how did you stay motivated to learn that on your own?
Yeah, so my family friend, my stepmother actually came to me and she said, "Gabriel, I need a website." And I was already interested in technology, but not specifically in websites. So I was like, "Wait, what's that?" So I was watching YouTube videos. Before AI, we were, you had to search up what other people were doing. You couldn't just say, "Hey, ChatGPT, make me a website."
Totally.
And that was a lot harder than just what you can do today. Yeah, that experience kind of taught me how to make websites. That experience furthered me into how to learn how to make websites. And then since then, I've just had a lot more clients and people who are interested. And then about 3 years ago, I came across a startling statistic that a single Google search can power a 10-watt light bulb for 108 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Now, might not seem like a lot, but there's over 5 trillion searches a year.
Mhm.
So that's serious energy consumption, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, what if I could combine the two? So kind of websites and then sustainability, which is what I'm interested in. And what if websites could be kind of part of the solution to the issue? So that's when I founded Oasis of Change.
Hmm.
Okay, we'll get into that in a
Yeah.
minute, but that is very cool. Very cool.
Did you just like wake up when you were fully conscious as a child and just were you always a bright kid? Is that something
I'm not sure. Maybe.
you were just born
I'm
that
just
way?
curious. I wouldn't say I'm like extremely bright. I'm just curious. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of people are addicted to social media and whatnot. It takes away their curiosity. They're watching people who are doing their curious things online and then sharing that, but the person watching that isn't actually engaging in their own curiosity. So they're kind of
Mhm.
just staying there. But I've been lucky enough to have opportunities where I can work on my curiosity, like Oasis of Change, and doing all these things that I'm doing. And I think that's been working for me.
That's amazing.
I'm going to jump in with another question. Are your friends like-minded? Do you have friends that are doing similar things?
Yes and no.
Yes.
So a little side tangent. I was a part of this program called TKS, the Knowledge Society. So
Okay.
it's kind of like if you've heard of Y Combinator. Y Combinator is probably the largest company that's kind of investing in other companies. I think they're based in the U.S., so they're one of the biggest in the world. So we kind of treat TKS as Y Combinator, but for humans. So how can we? It's kind of like a human youth accelerator. So 13 to 17-year-olds can join into this program. They have in-person cohorts in Dubai, Vancouver, San Francisco, Calgary, Toronto, etc., and even an online cohort. And it's amazing. So if I have any friends doing this, I would say the friends that are doing kind of like-minded things are all from TKS. And we're learning
Okay.
about emerging technology. And TKS alumni have raised over $80 million.
Whoa.
It's crazy, but I think we'll
It's
get
pretty
into
cool.
that in a bit.
Okay, great.
So sustainability is clearly a big part of your life and central to everything that you do. What does digital sustainability mean to you and why is it important for our future and the internet?
Digital sustainability is something that's very overlooked by everyone. A lot of people don't understand that your digital actions have real world environmental impacts, right? So sending an email, for example, that email is stored on a server. That server runs on electricity, it generates heat, and then data centers that house those servers use millions upon millions of gallons of water a day. And the servers are just sitting there kind of running, using electricity. And if it's not powered by renewable, if the servers aren't powered by renewable energy, then it's producing carbon emissions. It's using water regardless. It's a big issue, especially with the upbursts of AI and artificial intelligence. It's only going to get more severe. So it's something that was called to me to kind of like spread this because not a lot of people know about that. So that's what I've been doing for the past few years.
That's so cool. I feel like a lot of people just kind of joke about ChatGPT is ruining, like, you're wasting 3 bottles of water every time you ask it a question, but people don't really understand what that means. So that's a very interesting explanation about why AI is bad for the environment. What do you think about AI? What do you think about ChatGPT? Are you using it in school? Is it allowed? Or are you anti AI as someone in this field?
I'm a bit mixed. Like I think if you use AI intentionally, yeah, it's amazing. It can make websites really fast. Obviously, I don't really use it for 100% of the websites that I make, but we do use it, and I think it'd be a bit dumb not to because the the status quo now is that there's tools like Cursor, Lovable, and these are all tools that help build websites with AI. Now we don't intentionally or we don't rely on that 100% of the time, but we do use it to say, hey, how can we make this website more sustainable? Or maybe you can find an error in our code. So I think a lot of people aren't using it intentionally, and they're only making like a 5 sentence prompt and then putting that website online. And I wouldn't say that's the best. Um, but I'm pro AI if it's used right, but I'm not pro AI if people aren't being intentional with it. And in terms of having it in school, I think a lot of people are doing it in school. Teachers. What I found is a lot of teachers think that AI, oh, it's just writing things, writing essays, but no, AI is literally like a single prompt. It's so advanced now. We're nearly at, or if we're not at already, AGI, which is when AI reaches kind of human cognition levels. That's a bit frightening, I believe. Above that is superhuman intelligence, I believe.
Ah,
I
okay.
just learned this yesterday. I forget the specific
Oh, it's
abbreviation,
okay. Yeah.
but it's when artificial intelligence kind of reaches the human level of thinking, where it can learn, and it can learn things without kind of being taught that it's wrong. Like, it can self-teach itself.
I
So
really hate that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was just reading about how ChatGPT is filling an emotional void for a lot of people, and it's almost becoming a friend. Or like people will say, "Can I have a pep talk?" and it will tell them that they're doing great work, and that
hmm
there's an emotional connection to the AI platforms. What are your thoughts on that?
No, for sure. A lot of people are using it as a therapist.
Yeah.
And well, the thing about how these AI models are programmed, well, specifically ChatGPT and ChatGPT 2, ChatGPT, I think there's a bunch of not 5.2. All of these models are trained to kind of agree with the user, because
Right.
why would you pay a subscription for someone that doesn't agree with you? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's targeted to, like, "Oh, you're doing so good. Oh, there's no mistakes here." But, you can have, like, these little instructions on the side to program to say, "Hey, don't agree with me. Be a smart
Right.
third party." But, then it kind of gets a bit mean. I
Oh,
found, yeah,
oh,
it's
jeez.
like,
I
"Gabriel,
couldn't
come
handle
on."
ChatGPT
Yeah.
being mean to me. That's one thing I just
Yeah.
couldn't take.
I'd rather trauma dump to a real person, I think.
Yeah, that's a bridge too far for
Yeah.
me. Okay, let's talk about Oasis of Change. So you founded that organization when you were 15.
Yes.
All right. What was the initial mission, and how has that grown or shifted over time?
Our original mission was to promote digital sustainability, so kind of what I'm
Okay.
doing
Yep.
today. And we work on website projects and digital projects for certain corporations. And then we use the funds from those projects to plant trees all around the world and help prevent plastic from entering the oceans.
That is so cool. I notice you say we. Do you have a team of people that you're working with? How does it work?
I have some board of directors, and we previously had about 25 people, volunteers for the Echo Search project, which we'll be getting into. But we've slimmed it down a little bit, and we're
Yeah.
gonna get back on track, building up our community.
Do you plan to continue doing this
Oh
as
yeah,
you go into university and
for sure.
beyond? Because you're just in grade 12.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Yeah.
and really inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you.
Super inspiring. I don't even
Mhm.
remember what I was doing in grade 12, but not that.
I was doing my makeup.
Yeah.
That's what my mom always said. She was watching soap operas or something. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel, you're
I
My
was
mile high hair and my makeup. It was a thing. It took time.
The biggest thing I worried about was Justin Bieber, so not far off from what I still worry about. You've worked with organizations like Microsoft, IKEA, and environmental nonprofits. What's the key lesson you've learned about bringing sustainability into such large institutions?
That was through TKS as well. We got a chance to do a hackathon alongside Microsoft and IKEA, where for Microsoft we were working on how to make AI data centers more sustainable. So me and a team kind of developed a proof of concept solution of how we could get the cooling systems in those servers to, it's called hotspot aware cooling. It's kind of technical, but yeah, it was we kind of pitched that to one of their teams, and we got in the semifinals,
Wow.
and that was pretty cool. And then for IKEA, we noticed an issue about their support. They had on Trustpilot, they had really bad ratings. So we came up with an idea. Sven, it's like a conversational AI. And I think it would like decrease costs by like 30% or something. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, so what'd you do? Just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, it's me, Gabriel. I noticed you've got some stuff going on. How can we help?" Like, how did you get into, was it Microsoft? IKEA? Yeah, Microsoft and IKEA. How did
So
you?
it's kind of like a student consulting project through TKS. So
Okay.
TKS works with those, or works alongside those corporations, and then our TKS students get a chance to, we get a prompt like, how can we make AI data centers more
I see.
sustainable?
Okay,
And
that
then
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't directly work out, but like we didn't directly reach out to them, but we did have a cool opportunity to work alongside them.
What do you want to do in university? what's the goal for that? Or do you want to go to school? Are you going to school?
Well, that's one of my questions that I've been thinking over the past few years. Oh, do I go to university? Do I not? Because I've noticed that, high school has kind of stunted my growth. It's kind of making me do projects and things that I'm not learning from and that are kind of useless. It's like once you do a project, oh, write an essay, throw it out. It's just a grade. And it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
all memorization.
Yeah.
But the reality is that that's not what, the top people or the top companies are even looking for today. They're looking for projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
job
Like, what have you done?
experience.
Job experience. So that's kind of what TKS taught me. It's not all about grades, like what
Mhm.
school suggests, but it's also about, what you've done. Like we were taught or in TKS, like you learn, you pick a subject. So say synthetic biology, you write a learn article. So it's like, oh, what is about, so to show your understanding to experts. And then you say, you create some synthetic biology product and then you kind of cold email a CEO or something and then you share that with them and then you get an internship. So that's what I did. Not with
Wow.
synthetic biology, but with kind of AI and website development.
Here in Vancouver?
Yeah, Plastic
Yeah.
Bank.
Very,
very
cool.
Yeah.
I admittedly don't know a lot of teenagers, but you seem very unique to me.
Yeah.
Do you feel unique? Do you what's it like being you?
I feel a bit different from people at school. I would say yes.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
on my phone a lot of the time, which when they would be,
Yeah.
I'm kind of maybe, last year in grade 11 in English class, I was like doing some work on the computer in English and like uploading files for one of the companies that I work with and getting paid and whatnot. And then my friend's like sitting there reading a book and he's like, Gabriel, how are you making money in class? And like, I'm reading a book. So there is a bit of ambition and a bit of drive and curiosity that I think a lot of people are missing in the schools that I have a bit of experience with. And I think that's kind of what separates.
Yeah.
But from TKS, a lot of people in TKS are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
From having presentation voice when they come in to becoming TEDx speakers, for example, and speaking at like large technological conferences like Web Summit. I think we've had
Yeah.
maybe over 5 Web Summit speakers. And to get that at being a minor or under 18
Yeah.
is really hard.
Well, I don't know if
Amazing.
we have this question in here. Sorry, Jane, if you
That's
don't
okay.
mind me jumping in. But were you also a TEDx speaker?
Yeah, I did my TEDx, I think, 6 days ago.
Oh,
Yeah, very
congratulations.
soon.
Here in Vancouver?
It's in Mission.
In
So a bit of a
Mission.
drive, but worth it.
What was that like?
Congratulations.
It was really fun. The thing is that I was told 2 weeks before, and typically you have a few months. So I had to really
Oh.
lock in, and I had to really. But since I only have one class, there's not a lot of homework. So I was doing that every day and practicing, and I was lucky enough to have some mentors to help me out, and
Cool.
we got it done.
Congrats.
People were
I'll have
happy.
to watch that.
Yeah.
Is it out yet?
Not yet. We're
Not
editing
yet.
it, or they're editing it.
When do you think it'll be out?
Maybe a couple weeks or a
Okay.
month.
Okay.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
let you
by
know.
the time this is live, people can watch it.
Yeah. It's called Gabriel Dalton, Digital Sustainability, the Missing Piece of Tech and AI Literacy.
I'm not just saying this. I will watch that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. So Oasis of Change has helped nonprofits secure significant tech grants and support. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to nonprofits hoping to access similar resources?
It's a great question. Yeah. So one of the things we do at Oasis of Change is we make websites sustainable, so energy efficient, low carbon, accessible, so that anyone, despite maybe some disabilities that they might have, can access the website, which is often overlooked as well as sustainability. And then the other thing we do is nonprofit grants, so in-kind technology grants. So nonprofits are actually eligible for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of grants per year. The Google Ads grant, you can get $10,000 a month of Google Ads.
Where do they go to learn about?
Nonprofit.google.com. Nonprofits.google.com. You can search up or TechSoup. TechSoup is one of them. You get access to a bunch of them. Canva for nonprofits. I think that's just $11,000 right there. Yep.
And is that across Canada, in the United States and Canada? Is it around the world? Like
Around the world. I think
around the
TechSoup
world?
is Canada,
Yeah.
but Canva's Australia, and they have Canva for nonprofits. They have
Okay.
Microsoft for nonprofits. So what's one piece of advice is search up
Yeah.
nonprofit in-kind technology deals, and you can get over 100 terabytes of storage on Google, which you couldn't even buy because it's so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nice.
I haven't thought about that in years. I used to work at BC Persons with AIDS Society, and we like there was no money. So we were always looking for grants, and there were a lot of technology grants or technological grants that we received that made such a big difference. It's so important.
For sure.
Yeah, the work that you do is really important.
Yeah, so we've helped some nonprofits who can't really afford to pay for ads or to pay for Google accounts, for
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
And I think we've gotten nearly $900,000 per year
yeah.
in-kind
Well,
technology grants. Yeah.
I know for a fact that that's a game changer. So, well done to you and to everyone who's working on that.
Thank you.
So you mentioned Echo Search before. Tell us about Echo Search, your sustainable search engine that plants trees. What inspired that idea and what impact have you made so far?
So that was a side project for Oasis of Change, and it kind of came from a program called Build Space Season 5. So it was a San Francisco company, and they got a bunch of funding to help people build what they actually want to build. So a team and I, that's where the 20 volunteers came from, where we were building a sustainable search engine. So like Ecosia, if you've heard of that, they plant trees, I think one tree for every 40 searches or whatnot. So our goal was trying to see how we could build a similar one that has a larger impact. Unfortunately, we had to shut it down because it's not easy building a search engine with 20 people.
Yeah.
Google has hundreds of thousands,
Yeah.
Bing has hundreds of thousands. But it was definitely a good learning experience, and who knows, we might do that in the future if we deem it efficient. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you are an established public speaker at the age of 17. And you've spoken in front of executive teams and policy groups. How do you prepare for your speaking engagements? And are you usually the youngest voice in the room?
Yeah, I'm usually always the youngest voice in the room, which is a bit daunting, but also empowering. It's like, oh, people might want to listen to me, but I have to show they might want to listen to me, yeah, but I have to show kind of my experience so that they can get a bit of credibility. For example, the TEDx, I was, I think, the only high school student, which was kind of scary, but we made it work. And then I also work a bit with the dais at Toronto Metropolitan University. They're kind of like a public think tank. And they had a program called Screen Break. I think it's now called Heads Up, where they're working on projects. They have about 20 youth champions from across Canada. Youth champions meaning 20 children who are kind of selected to work on projects educating their communities about phone use in schools, because it's obviously a big question. Should they be banned? Should we educate children? Should we whatnot? So I was one of the 3 people selected to kind of coach a few of those youth champions. And they flew me out to Toronto, and there was an event called URL to IRL in real life. So it was very funny. One of the things about the dais is that they love their naming. So it's like URL to IRL is really catchy. And I was on an intergenerational panel talking about screen time use and whatnot. So I was the youngest there as well. Yeah.
What is your perspective on screen time use and phones in schools, and like what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's not an easy question. I think it all comes back to being intentional. If you're playing video games, if you're playing Clash Royale or whatever, it's not very. And when you have work to do, it's not the best use of time. So I don't really agree with that. But I think with ChatGPT and with all these tools online, like I was working in class because I was done all the work. Like, would you say, Gabriel, get off your computer and just not do anything? It's a good question.
Some might.
Some might, yeah,
Yeah.
and good reason for it. But I think that we have to educate kids and children in the schools about why they shouldn't be on their phones during school. Because if we don't, then they're just gonna go home. Like if it's banned in schools, they're just gonna go home and then be on their phones all day. Then they'll come
Mm-hmm.
back. They'll come back tired. They stayed up till 3 a.m. or whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and then that doesn't help the problem, does it?
Mm.
So it's a big question, but the conclusion from kind of that event was we need education rather than banning phones. And I think I'm trying to remember the quote that I had. There were some amazing people there, big policymakers. I think the former Lieutenant Governor of Ontario was there, and I had this really good final message. I forget what it was. Let me see. It was empower us with tools and trust, not just rules.
Yeah.
And they really saw that as inspirational, I think. And the conclusion speaker was kind of, she brought that up again, the lieutenant governor, she brought that up, and I was like, oh, and I think it landed for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I stand by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
What do you think young changemakers like yourself bring to discussions about tech, environment, anything that others might overlook?
I think the biggest aspect of bringing in a youth representative would probably be that we're still so young and we have a full life to live. Whereas a lot of other people in discussions, or one of the things we were talking about with the dais, was that a lot of policymakers they're not consulting with the people who are going to face the regulations. How can you have a law or a policy or regulation when you don't hear from such a critical voice, right? So
Mhm.
I think a lot of the decisions being made on technology or on climate change or the problems that we face today in society are made by people who aren't kind of consulting with with the children who are actually going to be affected by it. So we bring in kind of the youth perspective, the Generation Z, Generation A, whatever, into the conversation now and be like, hey, we have however many years left, but we want to have a sustainable planet. So we want to
Mhm.
work towards this.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are kind of addicted to their phones and everything, that it's not, it's hard not to be when billions of dollars are kind of poured into advertising
Yeah.
and everything. So that kind of sucks. But I think also we need youth leaders to kind of inspire
Mhm.
other youth leaders to
Mm-hmm.
come out and start talking about problems in our world.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Because it's frustrating. A lot of youth leaders can't even vote yet because they're not old enough. So you're kind of just screaming into a void and you're helpless, and you need to have your voice heard so people who can vote can make the changes for you, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, looking ahead, what innovations or shifts in tech are you most excited about in general, and then specifically when it comes to sustainability?
Well, with our organization, Oasis of Change, like specifically for our organization, we got a grant from, I think, Service and Employment Canada, where we're building kind of a hub for nonprofits so that they
Mhm.
can learn how to be sustainable, accessible, and also get those nonprofit technology grants.
Mhm.
So I'm going to be working on that. I think it's due in a month or something. They approved our grant a bit late, so we only have about a month to work on it, where other people had a full year.
Wow.
So we're working on that. And I think that's going to be a cool piece of technology that we're going to
Mhm.
release organization wide.
Yeah.
But in terms of technology as a whole, I think there's a lot of AI tools, AI models coming out every single
Yeah.
day. If you've heard of Claude, they've just
Mhm.
released Sonnet 4.6, and Cursor has released 2.5, and there's anyway all these buzzwords, right? But these models are getting more intelligent, more efficient, hopefully.
Yeah.
And what I would love to see is, efficiency as a core kind of focus in developing these models. And I also want to see more like AI safety. Like when we talk about like
Mhm.
Grok and
Yeah.
all these tools, right? Like you can manipulate a photo,
Oh
I
gosh.
hate
Yeah.
it.
and it's pretty disturbing. It's very disturbing. What I'm looking forward to in our organization is it's near by the end of this month, we'll have planted, I think, over 7,100 trees
Wow.
in 13 new countries. We've already planted in 18 countries, but we'll plant in 13 new countries, including Canada. In Manitoba, we're supporting an Indigenous-led project. Argentina, Bolivia, Mexico, Australia, Ireland. So a bunch of new countries that we're going to be planting in, and that's really, I think we have like an 1,000% increase in funds from our previous fiscal year.
It's amazing.
So
Congratulations.
it's very so
It's incredible.
What are your thoughts around AI and confidentiality? And people are asking some very serious questions to ChatGPT and other platforms, and um, sometimes they're uploading documents and saying this is confidential, but can you give me like a brief overview or narrow it down for me? What is your thought about how confidential that information actually is? And well, I'll just stop there. I'll just let you answer that.
Well, I mean, it depends on every model, right? But
Yeah.
I think like in the US, there's like the cybersecurity guy like uploaded confidential documents, and then they found about it. They found out about it somehow, so it's not obviously not that confidential. But I mean, if government officials are uploading, highly
Or
classified
just regular
documents, or even regular
people.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy that
Yeah.
AI can just scan that and have access to all
And
these
store
confidential
it somewhere,
documents. Yeah.
probably,
Yeah,
right?
it's stored on a server. Even if you delete a chat, it's still stored on the server for at least 30 days.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they delete it after.
I
don't
often
know.
think, like, what happens if somebody has to go to court and they, like they were just
Oh yeah,
researching on ChatGPT, like, and could that information be held against them?
totally.
Right? Like, that's fascinating, and that's stuff that we're only just beginning really to I'm just beginning to really think about. I'm sure there are very smart people already thinking about it, but that's the sort of stuff that keeps me up at night.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that some of the smartest people in the world are working on these kind of
Yeah.
AI safety, AI confidentiality issues. So
It's
no worries.
fascinating.
My
Yeah.
biggest fear is that you just can't tell when a photo is AI or not anymore. And like people can use, if you have a photo on the internet of yourself, like people can use that photo and manipulate you into, I can't even.
Did you see the AI fight between, I think it was Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and it's going before, like, I think there's a lawsuit around it, and I was looking at it thinking this is ridiculous, and then like watching it and thinking that is insane.
Yes.
Like absolutely insane.
It's terrifying.
Very scary.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know who won the fight, but I wasn't that, I wasn't that interested.
Most important question.
Yeah,
So
don't
shut
know.
up after.
I don't know. And I was like, why these two?
So for listeners who want to make an impact, especially young people like you, what's one practical step they can take right now?
I talked about this in the TED Talk. It's a framework. It's called the 3 L's: learn, lighten, and lead. So the first step is about kind of understanding that the internet has an environmental impact, and what's the AI or what's the environmental cost of this AI tool I'm using or whatnot, or does it have sustainability reports? Does it have more sustainable alternatives, right? Do I need to use a ChatGPT request, which uses 10 times more energy than a simple Google search, for something that I could just find on Google? It's like again, tying back to being really intentional, right? And then the second step is to lighten. So actually make intentional choices to reduce your digital footprint. So delete old emails. And a funny thing was, I was presenting in front of a family friend before the TEDx talk, and I did the presentation, and afterwards she was like, "Gabriel, I deleted 700 emails," and I was like, "Yes." It's like, okay, it works. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people have. I had a funny kind of thing that I said in the TEDx. It was like, if you're someone whose inbox says 9,999 plus, then this is your sign, because there's like a lot of people have emails, but the thing is about those emails are stored on a server, and every time you don't delete them, it uses more energy, uses more heat, produces more carbon.
Okay, I have to ask. To what extent do you think the general public cares about this?
It's a good question, right? I
Right?
mean, well, the thing is you can be a climate denier. You don't have to believe any of this. But what we get with businesses is when we approach with this sustainable method, it's not
Yeah.
just about making a difference. Like, yeah,
Right.
you don't have to care at all. But it's not just about making an impact. Is that also a sustainable website is one that's optimized. It's one that's faster. If your website's faster, it's going to be indexed by Google and Bing. It's going to be higher on the Google results page, meaning more money. And
Yeah.
businesses love money. So
Mm.
they're not
I'm-
going to say no, really.
I'm sure
Mhm.
people do care very
Yeah.
much about it. I also know when you're desperate and you just need help from ChatGPT, you're not necessarily thinking about the environment,
For sure.
right? And what's your advice on how to keep that top of mind?
Yeah, I'm not saying don't use it at all.
Yeah.
I think it's like if you're really desperate, yeah, go ahead. That's what it's there for. But if you need to search up, some math questions or something, like, just use the calculator.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
lazy
yeah,
for a
yeah.
minute. Come on, you have
Yeah.
nothing else to
the
do.
old-fashioned way.
Yeah, it's like it'll save a lot of energy.
Yeah, and plus,
Mm.
if the internet goes down and you have to use a calculator, you'll
Yeah,
know
we
how
need
to
those
do
skills,
it,
right? People are too reliant on
right.
AI.
Oh, that really, yeah. I'm worried for the future children who are in school and university that don't know how to write a paper because they're using ChatGPT to help them. And
Yeah, or like read a map. If you get lost and you don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
internet, but
Hey, chat, how do I?
yeah. Like, I guess they probably wouldn't have a map in their car anyway. But it's a great skill to have.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. And even the fight against, is this document AI or is it not? Just because it has
Right,
one M
right,
dash
right,
or
right.
something does it mean it's AI?
And I
It's like,
love the M dash. I used it way before ChatGPT, so that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
oh, so your
Yes.
emails weren't ChatGPT?
No, no.
No, but
Uh,
that's the thing, right? People
same.
are people who use it before, and
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
they're getting like, oh, that's chat.
Right,
Yep.
right.
So
I'm the same, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Love an M dash.
Love me a good M-dash.
free M dashes.
Yeah. Please.
Now, I met you at the City of Vancouver's Impact and Innovation Award in 2025. Tell us about your awards and what that
Yeah.
recognition meant to you.
Yeah, that ceremony was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I became the youth recipient for the Impact and Innovation Award, as Jane mentioned, and that was a big step, right, for Oasis of Change, for
Yeah.
digital sustainability. I think the kind of 3 topics of that award is excellence in technology, sustainability, and science or something. And it literally is technology and sustainability combined. So I was like, okay, this is the right one to apply for, or to maybe garner some support from my friends
Yeah.
with to
Yeah.
apply. Yeah. So we went there and we got that. And I think the mayor, Ken Sim, was really happy. And he was like, there's a kid here that's planted
I remember.
9,000 trees.
Yeah.
And then he went on talking about everything else, but it was really funny. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, he seemed genuinely interested in talking to you. Like he really wanted to learn more about you and the work that you were doing. It was great to see.
Yeah, regardless of politics or anything. And I thought that was really,
Yeah.
really lovely.
Yeah, it was a good
human to
night.
human about a serious topic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a lot of kids can say that they've won an award from the city of wherever they're from. So it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, the awards of excellence.
Mm-hmm. So before I ask my final question, I genuinely just want to know, what do you do outside of all of this work? Like when you want to just have fun and not think
Yeah.
about this stuff, what do you do?
Good question. I like to play chess. I've been playing for maybe 10 years. My dad taught me, and then I got to a level where I was beating him, and then he didn't want to play again. So chess is fun. I haven't done that in a while, though. I've kind of been meeting up with friends, going to events.
Yeah.
I've been interested in like Web Summit that's
Yeah.
coming to Vancouver in I think May.
Yep.
There's some women in tech events that I'm going to. The new age of AI with I think the BC Minister of AI and New Technology. So I'm doing more events and things, getting my name out there, getting the idea of digital sustainability. Need to spread awareness about it.
Yeah.
So events, hang out with people, socializing.
Nice.
Do
Do you ever just scroll TikTok?
Not TikTok, but maybe Instagram. I
Do you
might be a
watch cat
culprit.
videos?
Fair enough.
How do you feel about cat videos?
Not sustainable. No, I don't know. No hate. No hate.
I have another question. So standard interview question, but I'm genuinely interested in your answer. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? You'll be 27.
So young still.
Yeah.
It's also funny to think that in 3 years, I'll have been coding for half of my life, for 10 years
Yeah.
at 20 years old. And I find that fascinating. So by 27 in 10 years, I would say definitely would have planted over 1 million trees
Mm.
at this rate. We planted 675 last year. We're going to plant over 7,100 this year. So hopefully that trajectory continues. I'm going to do business management and nonprofit management at BCIT. So hopefully I've completed those certificates and those courses by then. And we'll have a big team at Oasis of Change, and a lot more people will know about digital sustainability. Maybe we will have directly worked with Microsoft and IKEA, but yeah, I'm really focused on the present.
Yeah.
How can we? It's nice to have goals, but I don't focus on that a lot, to be
Yeah.
honest. Shorter term goals like 2 to 5 years or
Mhm.
even 1 year. So I think by 2027 we wanted to have planted maybe 100,000 trees.
Do you ever go tree planting? Have you done that yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We work with an organization called Tree Nation
Yeah.
to do it, but definitely once we have planted a certain amount of trees, I think it's like 50,000, we can actually visit the planting sites.
Oh, that's
like we have
cool.
images and everything.
Yeah.
We have videos from those planting sites that they've provided with us. But I
Yeah.
definitely like to take a visit there and be like, maybe we planted this tree or we
Mhm.
planted, these species of trees, because we planted in a bunch of countries. So I have to visit one at least.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe like take a summer and just go tree planting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Watch cat videos, plant some trees.
Good way to relax.
Well, it's youth like you that give me hope for the future, because sometimes I think I doom scroll on TikTok too much and I'm like, these kids are doomed. But I think there's a lot more to your generation than what we think. And thank you for all of the work that you do
Of course.
for us. One final question before we end today's podcast. What is something you want our listeners to take away? Just one thing before we close this off.
I would say be very intentional with your online choices. Think about if you need to ask ChatGPT or some other AI application your question, or if a simple search engine can handle that. Even visiting a website produces an amount of CO2. So if you have a website, search it up on websitecarbon.com and see the environmental impact that it's producing for every page view. Learn about digital sustainability. And if you have a child in age 13 to 17, join TKS, tks.world.
Amazing.
Amazing program.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if there's anything that our organization can do to help you along your journey and along the way, reach out. You're connected with us. We're connected on LinkedIn. If we can help, let us know.
Yeah, let's make something happen.
Yeah, sounds great.
And delete your emails.
Delete your unread emails.
Yeah. Thank you, Gabriel. So nice to meet you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you for listening to Hey Downtown Van. We really hope you enjoyed today's episode with Gabriel Dalton. If you'd like to learn more about our organization and all that we do, you can visit our website, dtvan.ca, follow along with the podcast at Hey Downtown Van, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for listening.